Hi, this is Robert Kiyosaki, and you're listening to Capital Hacking. This is the most important thing you can listen to today.
He's the one.
I have a dream.
With great power comes great responsibility.
I could do this all day.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
They may take our lives, but they'll never take our freedom.
Cinderella's story out of nowhere.
It's in the hole. That the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Capital Hacking begins in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back to The Big Show, John. Awesome to be here today with you.
So amazing. And in this show, Brett Harmeling really knocks it out of the park with so many different things he discusses specifically in the biohacking space, gives our listeners so many great things to think about. And one of the things that he said, and I'm going to paraphrase it, but basically he was like, hey, you have the freedom to choose what you want to do, but there are consequences to those actions. So I thought that was very interesting to always be thinking about showing up as your best version.
And a couple teasers. Have you heard of this expression? You got to finish this for me. The Hawkins scale of consciousness. Did I say that right, John?
You did, and it's a way to raise your vibration in the moment. So very interesting.
You know about it. I don't know about it. He's going to introduce us to that, and then we're going to learn about how to. I love the topics and the questions you brought up on specific things that could change your body that are different than anything I've ever heard before. I think there's a lot of education, a lot of curiosity. You're going to love this episode.
Let's go.
Brett is here, John. We got him here, buddy. This is going to be probably one of the best episodes of the year. I'm sure of it.
It's so fun. And Brett, can you give our listeners a little background on who you are? Josh and I know you for years and years, and I was really looking forward to this. You and I were actually talking earlier. We were saying how fun it's going to be, but give our listeners a little background on you.
Well, as complicated as life can be, mentioned a really key component there on the intro, which is like, if you're going to do anything in life, even if it's hard, it might as well be fun, right? So yeah. I'm super glad to be here. My name is Brett, for everyone listening. I grew up in a small Dutch village in Wisconsin called Oostburg. Got to Chicago as quick as I could to make some money. I'm just giving you highlights here. And then ended up making a good amount of money in technology and real estate. And then I took an opportunity I believe I was like 23 years old, and I moved to Houston, Texas. And since then, I've just been helping grow and scale different companies and different industries. And so if you're going to ask me and you met me at a networking event, I'd say, I'm a serial entrepreneur leveraging collaborations to create exponential impact. If I have one addiction, it is literally solving complex problems and doing businesses. I'm agnostic. And so I just get excited about helping people.
Dang.
Yeah, no, fantastic. And I want to rewind a little bit, Brett, because some of your foundation is in actually being an elementary school teacher, and then you rolled into becoming, going into tech, and then being a serial entrepreneur. So can you give us a little bit of that background?
Yeah, so I went to school to be a teacher, and I did that. I taught in a Title I school district, which means low income. A lot of the kids, especially the boys, kind of saw me as their father figure because they didn't really have one at home. And so every week we were dealing with guns, alcohol, violence, you just name it, name the thing, we dealt with it. And, I will get back to teaching someday because it's my passion. But what I realize is there's a correlation between sales and creating value in the world and teaching, and right. And they're like literally the same thing. And so
I like that.
I wanted to have a life of, freedom and flexibility. And I realized like teaching was not going to get me there very fast because I made like 36 grand, and it like literally had no time.
I know.
And so I decided to pivot to Chicago. I took kind of a risk. I didn't really have anything set up there, but I was like, this might be my only opportunity to do this. And then did that and, never looked back.
And I believe you're a father, I know you're a father. How many children? Where's home for you?
Currently in Houston, Texas. Currently
you stayed there.
2 kids, almost a 1-year-old and almost a 4-year-old. So
nice,
healthy gap, and just making the most of that right now for sure.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love that you said at the beginning. One of the listeners, they're going to catch it. They're going to be like, "I grew up on a Dutch farm in Wisconsin." I think you said, right?
Yes, correct.
You got to teach me that. I didn't know we had Dutch farms in Wisconsin. Teach me what a Dutch farm is. We're talking about Holland, Dutch people.
That's right. So like there's Oostburg, Netherlands, and there's Oostburg, Wisconsin. If you go there, like the street names and the layout and the climate and the culture and the heritage is like almost exactly the same. It's pretty surreal. And so my whole life has been rooted in heritage and just, I'm looking like one thing that I learned is that I grew up feeling like the black sheep of the family. I'm highly entrepreneurial. I like taking risks where I was built and grounded in like stability. This is the way you make money, time for money. And I'm just like, that just doesn't really work for me. Cause I'm like a little bit of I'm just a high energy person and I'm passionately curious about a lot of different things. And so I pursued that and I just own that. And if you know me, like you will agree with that's an accurate statement. And so I just lean into people, and something that I want to, hone in on today is like the importance of human capital and like doing hard things on purpose with people that you love.
Hey guys, it's John Vroman, founder of Front Row Dads, and you're listening to Capital Hacking, the best investment you'll make today.
Yeah, I think that's a great. So, do you want to follow up on that? Because hard things with people you love. Actually, Matt King was just writing about that recently. Tell me how that fits into your, strategy of human development and human capital.
Yeah, so I think, it starts within, right? So my new book that's going to be coming out here pretty soon, it focuses on the importance of becoming the best version of yourself. So whatever circles or places or things wherever you put yourself, just imagine like your life is like a video game, and no matter wherever you put yourself, if you're charged up and you're and you're going to that place with a frequency of 100 and you're vibrating with authenticity and compassion and love and gratitude, likely you're going to get what you want out of that circumstance, or things will go well. If you show up and your frequency's low and you're, I'm not saying tired. You can be unbelievably grateful and authentic and still be super tired. Hey, don't confuse the two. Tired is not a feeling, right? And so I found that by focusing on winning from within, that you're able to go into whatever circumstance it is and show up and kind of get what you want by just because you'll attract the right things into your life. And so, when I say do hard things on purpose, when you see other people working towards their dreams and you can understand how you can best fit into the fabric of that dream, you're able to like bring whatever resources into their life that you can. And that's going to create that exponential impact even faster.
Now, I love that. Seems like a common thread with many GoBundance guys doing hard things on purpose. Question, and I have a lot of questions, but one of them that comes to mind is, a listener right now that might be feeling a little bit down. How do you raise your frequency?
Oh, I like that. Great question.
Yeah, frequency training. So I use this scale. It's called Hawkins scale of consciousness. I have it printed in my office and I have it on my phone and on my computer, and it's always in my purview. And so I'm able to see and do check-ins like whenever I need to, wherever I'm like, am I making this decision? Where energetically am I making this next decision, or how am I choosing to show up in this environment? Like even like family like birthday parties or like family outings, like you got to check yourself and make sure that you're showing up the way that you want to. So my ways of regulating my frequency would be to go outside, to pray, listen to Christian music, to really get anchored into the things that bring me the most peace. Because I like going into chaos, I have to find peace from within. Otherwise I get pulled into the chaos really fast. And to all the fellow fathers listening, like, exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Well, another question I have that, you had mentioned earlier is something you love is taking something really complicated and figuring it out. Like what are steps that you take to take something complicated and break them down?
So much like people use like a vision board for their life, I use vision boards to simplify complex projects. And what I mean by that, it's like, so if you're looking at a clothing brand, for instance, and it's like athleisure luxury wear, or just name whatever industry you're trying to solve the problem for. If you can connect dots that make sense, but that are in different industries, you literally expand the potential and the opportunity by over 10x. Like really, that's like 1 + 1 = 3. And I will say, like, any business or life responds to effort, not expectations. And so when you go into things with the right energy and the right effort behind it, like whatever's supposed to happen will happen as a result of that.
Amazing. All right, let's get into some meat and potatoes. Happy Life Labs. I don't even think I said that right, but I think of you and I think
Perfect.
Happy Life Labs. Tell us about that.
So, been on my own healing journey my whole life myself as a hockey player and just like competitive athlete. And so, I got really into it when I moved to Houston, pretty much 2012, 2013, and then started like the affiliate marketing ambassador type role with a lot of different companies. And then I started to realize like, whoa, these companies, I'm having a I'm doing a good job bringing them into spaces and curating experiences for people where the brand like naturally gets an elevation through the power of one connection. And so fast forward to, what is it now? 13 years later, it's almost, 13 years almost later, I have 70 brands inside of a wellness collective portfolio. And so now I do international wellness consulting work on behalf of not only places, but people and professionals. So John, I feel like, man, like I know you're really into physiology and fitness and well-being. It's like, there's so many avenues and so many resources and so many speaker heads telling you what to do. And it's I focus on what's called bio-individuality and getting people exactly what they need. And so I teach that the best math that you can learn today is the future cost of whatever your current decisions are. So if you're pouring bad things into your body or consuming things, our bodies are innately intelligent. And so we actually know when we're doing something that we shouldn't do or that doesn't serve us or empower us to become the next version of ourselves. And so I channel people and empower people to live into that energy. Like, hey, you already know, you don't need a coach to tell you that eating X is bad for you. You know that, right? And so we know these things. And so it's teaching the fundamental principles to get people to live into their biggest and fullest potential.
All right. Well,
so within that though, can I dig in a little bit? So Brett.
Yeah, it's an expansive project to take on. And someone like me, as you can see, like I think in a lot of different directions, it's why it works, is because I never get stuck or trapped or feel like I'm doing the same thing. I get to work and represent 70 brands and they all fit in different places wherever I go.
Well, that might connect to some of the work you've done in air travel, but tell me, the part that's a little hard for me to grasp, when you have an affiliate relationship with a brand that you love, that you trust, that you believe in, how do you grow enough revenue to make it worth your time, Brett? I mean, let's talk about the revenue side and the income side. Is it through social media dominance and a lot of clicks, or how do you, 70 brands, I can't quite get my head around it actually. How do you earn a living or some living from that?
Yeah. So, we've reviewed over just for perspective, we've reviewed over 3,000 products. So we're only at 70. Wow. So if that says anything about the seriousness, about the quality of the products that we're representing, that's how we get F1 world champion clients. That's how we get to work with the Tim Tebows of the world. That's how we get to work with, some of the best known DJs in the world, like that are putting their bodies through stress because that's what they're designed to do, to create experiences, but at their own, at the risk of their own health. And so it's getting them dialed into, to support whatever it is they love doing. And so we have a system and a process that allows us to do this. And the answer is complicated because it's been one of those things where it started off really good and it goes in waves and then it goes down and then it goes up. And it's like when a speaker head, for instance, like Gary Brecka or Ben Greenfield or Dave Asprey, when they go and say something about something, now we're positioned, our team's positioned to go sell digitally those things, even though we've been talking about them for a decade already. Wow, it's like, oh, now it's the new hot topic. I'm like, well, people have been talking about hydrogen gas in my world for for a long, long time. And it's not some miracle thing. It's gas from nature that can actually heal most known human ailments. And so you should probably consider looking into it. So those things kind of like, they drive me crazy, but that's where the opportunity sits in. And so, yeah, we've scaled through social media and online presence, but where I'm really passionate is building the relationships. So if you're like, hey, Brett, I want to know about, hydrogen water. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to just sell you the water. I want to teach you why we represent this brand and bring you along on the founder's journey. Because we like to represent products based on, where they're made, the ethics of the company, the quality of the product, the return policy, the warranty. So we do a lot of due diligence to make sure that the brands are really in alignment with Happy Life Labs values, which is So
well, actually, I would like you to explain hydrogen for a moment. So that's a popular trend right now, and just
they sell these bottles, like this.
Teach me.
Just as an example, it makes hydrogen. So gas comes into the water. Hydrogen goes into your body as a free radical, and it goes in, and it's a very reactive gas. And so it goes in and it breaks up free radicals that are trapped or stuck, specifically in the gut. And so from there, your gut then is able to heal and dispel of all the things that it may have been trying to break down and work in a much faster timeline. Now, what people should know is that if you have a healthy gut microbiome, molecular hydrogen is produced inside of the gut. And so you don't really need tools like this. But because of the world that we live in and all the environmental toxins that we consume and, things that we can choose to consume, like I'm not perfect. I still like, I'm not drinking this year, but I like beer and queso, so I'm like not going to give those things up. But it's like, so we want to enjoy the comforts of the world that we live in, but we also don't want to compromise our health. And so that's where, these types of water bottles.
Show us that. Show us what you're showing us. This is the most interesting thing. So it is you just replenish the water, right? The water is just from
and then it has like a little screen. It's on low battery, but you hit play, and then the water, and then the hydrogen gas bubbles up in the water, and the idea is you drink it as fast as possible, and then you get the gas into your system. Another popular gas that's new, which is old, which is why we're even alive, is called ozone therapy. So if you have any type of bacterial infection, some would say that it gets rid of this programming experiment that happened in 2019. I don't know if anybody's heard of it. It gets rid of that in less than 3 minutes. So pretty powerful gas. It's called ozone, which is adding
how do you get
oxygen molecule to.
Okay, so you showed a great bottle that allows us to get hydrogen into our body. How do you get ozone into our body?
Same. Well, there's a lot of different ways you can do it. That you can do it through a drip. You can take out blood, infuse the bag with ozone. The blood turns from purple to bright red, and then you drip it back into your system. That's a good way to do it. The best way to do it is rectal insufflation, which is putting it in a bag and then putting this catheter into your, and then pushing the gas into there. Why that's so important is because, as you can imagine, our body holds on to so much stuff, and there's a lot of bacteria that lives in there, and so you want to keep that clean so that you don't end up with issues like colon cancer. There's no hidden information. It's on the rise. And so you can keep that part of your body clean. It really helps with longevity.
Jeez, man, Brett, you just blew my mind already. This was worth the price of admission.
I was going to say, can you just take Metamucil every day at the end of the day? And that's super helpful.
Oh, is it?
I mean, that seems pretty intense getting the ozone drip, but I've heard, and where my mind went, Brett, was air purifiers seem to have ozone in them. There's
a lot that do, yeah. Cold plunges, I won't that's why there's certain cold plunges that I recommend, because they don't use chemicals, they just use ozone that kills any bacteria that's in the water. So
wait, I'm in the middle of purchasing a cold plunge for the wellness portions of our resorts. So you got to give us advice on that. Is there one that you represent, and how can we help buy from you so that you earn? How does that all work, Brett?
This would be a perfect case study example. So I go into people's lives. I've helped several guys within GoBundance, which is how we all know each other originally. I'm sitting inside of a 19,000 square foot facility right now that's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, yoga, wellness, cafe, kickboxing, yoga. And so I go into people's lives and I basically open the portfolio of my vetted products and I say, hey, Josh, here's the products. What's your budget? Where do you need this? And from there, I help you get an the best price on any of these products that you can imagine.
Oh, I get it.
And then I will help set up a relationship with those brands, so that if someone wants to purchase that brand through you, you get a little bit of a commission on the back end.
Hi, this is Melanie McCallan. Josh and I are just so grateful for the many investors who have already joined us at Accountable Equity. Accountable Equity is so much more than a capital group. It's really a community of accredited investors that want to learn and grow together. I just want to personally invite you, if you want to find out more about this type of investment and see if it's right for you and your family, please visit us at accountableequity.com.
Hey, it's Hal Elrod, author of The Miracle Morning, and you're listening to Capital Hacking. Enjoy.
So the ozone cleans the water.
Correct. Yeah,
The
like
reason
actually they even make ozone machines for washers, so you don't need to use any soap.
Dude, you are
Wow.
blowing my mind right now. So, how did you first learn about this side of I feel like we're on a different side of the universe
I knew
right
this
now,
would be
John.
fun.
I don't know this biohacking stuff.
I'm in this world. I'm not like, and people think I'm crazy. Like the people that I'm learning from are on a different planet. Okay. So literally part of my job is just I'm like boiling this down way here so that people will actually listen to what I'm saying. You know, when people say crazy things, then people listen, but I'm more like, hey, this is why you would do that, right? Not for the sake of a sale. I don't just sell people products. I teach them. So when people like learn about a hydrogen water bottle, I'm like, I would not actually buy that. I would just start with the tabs and, or get your gut health checked and then start from there. And then if you really see a difference from that, then maybe pursue one, because it's like $300. I'm like, there's a better way to spend $300.
Now, how do you measure that? Because when you get online, you can find hydrogen water bottles for much cheaper than $300. Like, are they just gimmicks, or is there something to a cheaper version?
So that's a good question. It's just like the cold plunges. I would never recommend a cold plunge brand that I didn't know was going to be in business. It's like related to the solar industry. 95 to 98% of solar companies go out of business. It just happens. So then when you have this awesome warranty and guarantee, but the company's out of business, what the hell are you going to do when your solar panels don't work? You're going to pay a premium to get them fixed by some other company that didn't install them. Yeah. Or if you have damage to your house, or et cetera, same thing. The actual unit that generates the ozone is under warranty. They back by their product. The science, the founder, it's a real company. It's legitimate. They can actually, it shows you the parts per million in the water. So yeah, like for ozone, there's like 3 companies that I would recommend. It's not just one, right? And so based on your budget and what you're looking for, same thing. Same thing with plunge. Depends on your budget, what look you're trying to go for. There's 3 brands I'd recommend, and so just
wow.
I work through all these things with people.
So as people are listening to this today and they're like, I need advice on that. We're doing a big project like that. What would you say? Go to Happy Life Labs and then
I'm
contact
everywhere.
you?
I'm if you can't find me online, you're probably not a good client for me at this point. So just finding me online and just saying, hey, I heard you on the Capital Hacking. I'd love to learn more how I can optimize my health, or like being more specific really helps because I've got a small team that works with me. And so we can just help point you in the right direction, whether that's you need global consulting. And like, I literally work from everyone from like individuals to 4 seasons on a global scale. So wow. There's just different levels to the game. That's what kind of makes it complicated. Honestly, there's not a one size fits all.
Can we talk a little bit about a buzz supplement right now, which I actually think is pretty good. It's been around for a long time, but really people are talking about it a lot, and you probably already know. Methylene Blue. Let's talk a little bit about that. What are your thoughts? What brand do you use? Do you use it?
Yeah.
And back up a bit and explain what we're talking about, if you could, for our listeners.
It's a fabric dye that came out in the 1800s, and they found these incredible like healing aspects, and it clears your brain fog. And it really, actually, there's not many supplements I would say that I take that I can feel. This one I can actually feel.
Yeah, Methylene Blue is canceled because it helped keep soldiers alive, and they realized the efficacy, so they put it on their wounds. And what it does is it cleans out and stimulates the mitochondria to function optimally. Yes. So when you pair Methylene Blue with the right type of photobiomodulation, which is a fancy way of saying the right light frequency, it has a response, and from that, it activates it and makes the product work in its highest capacity, which will make you pee bright blue, by the way. But, yeah. Technically, methylene blue it's a salt, and this is a really important one. Right. It is. Josh fell out of his chair. It's a salt, and it's incredibly effective. But you also have to be very careful with it because it's a salt. It's mined, and there can be heavy metals that are found in it. So you want to definitely make sure you get it from a good source. The number one source that I've found so far that I prefer is Ozone, which is Advanced Rejuvenation Center, which is Dr. John Laurence out of Sarasota, Florida. That's the best one that I've found. And then Wizard Sciences, Dr. Ian Mulligan, who also was put up to be like the cancer doctor for America. He said no because his initiatives. He knows how the government works. He's like, I won't be able to do my job, and I'll lose I'll lose that, and I don't want to like give up the impact that I'm having. He's the guy that if you have cancer and you like don't have any other options that you go to, and he somehow miraculously helps you get rid of it. So he's another one. And then Troscriptions isn't bad. Troscriptions is not.
Okay.
So those are the three right now that I would kind of recommend if I had to, just off cuff. But yeah, very powerful tool. You want to be source and then amount and like how often you're using it. Definitely want to cycle on and off of it.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I've tried a few different ones, clearly not in depth as you have, but I've found that Gary Brecka's 10X dropper is pretty good.
It's safe. I'll just say that.
It's safe.
Yeah.
So, all right. That was fun. Well, you know,
that was totally fun.
I said safe, not good, just for full disclosure.
All right. The last thing, Josh, is, you know, in talking to Brett, we always joke around and have a blast. And I was walking out of a cigar lounge one time and he sprays him. What is this stuff you spray yourself before you go into a cigar lounge to protect your skin or something?
Hey everybody, it's Robert Helms, host of the Real Estate Guys radio program. And when you're not listening to our show, make sure you're tuned to Capital Hacking. You're going to dig it.
Yeah, I use a colloidal silver spray that creates a mesh barrier so that your body does not absorb it's carbon, right? And you're burning something, it turns into carbon. And so if your body's absorbing the carbon, yes, I like to smoke cigars too, but how can I minimize the impact of basically secondhand smoke on my skin and on my being from being absorbed? And so, yeah, I'll spray, basically just think about it like a mesh layer protecting your skin from the carbon. There's other tools, but that's a good one. Same thing like going into chlorine pools. You want to like protect your skin. So you want to put oils on your skin so that you don't absorb the chlorine. I mean, you're not going to not enjoy the hot tub.
This was all pretty new to me, actually. So I'm really curious. So these types of things. So Brett, how long ago did you think you got sensitive or became aware of this heightened sensitivity to this? And at this point, I imagine you can really sense the differences between products in your own body. But when did this all begin and why?
Yeah, I mean, I had a series of brain injuries and one was pretty serious. And they put me on all these medicines, Adderall and SSRIs. And it was just this bad combination that led me down a dark path. And I decided just to like cold turkey quit it. So anybody that's listening that's on Adderall, do whatever you can to get off that drug. It's a super drug. It's amazing. I know how good it is. Trust me. But ditch it and just expect the next 1 to 3 years to be a little bit of a shit show, because what ends up happening is when like Adderall ends up controlling your whole nervous system and your whole all of your whole being. And so anyway, I'm oversharing now, but
this is actually important. We have family members, right?
I decided to ditch it and I said, I'm going to take control of my life. And I found, foundational root cause approach, red light therapy, some different functional mushrooms, and started going down this pathway. And then that's what just opened up this, like, literally, I'm like, well, there has to be more things people are doing that's based on frequency medicine, right? So we're frequencies. If you look at your cells underneath a microscope, they're moving. They ain't connected and touching. They're just moving and they're vibrating. And so I think Einstein has it 100% spot on. The future of medicine is frequencies. And so we're starting to see that. We're starting to get more and more curious about how medicine is being, like, the closer you get to nature, the more you heal. And there's companies that are legitimately like moving the needle. Like on all my devices, I have EMF radiation blockers or harmonizers so that the devices do not impact my cellular my frequency.
Yeah.
So it's literally the number one biohacks in today's world. I don't like that word, by the way, but are really protecting yourself from the negative consequences of the environments that we put ourselves into because we have to. That's it.
I love it. As we wind down, Brett, how do our listeners connect with you? I know you said you got to be crazy and, not find you, but how do they find you on social media or maybe reach out via email or something?
Yep. You can find me on Instagram, Brett Harmeling. I am launching a new YouTube channel, which will be like a resourceful, unfiltered channel about kind of all the things we talked about today, everything from entrepreneurship to energy, frequency training. And so that'll be going live. Pretty much just my name, Brett Harmeling. If you want to shoot me an email, it's just brett@happylifelabs.com. I'm super simple. The more specific you can come to me with your request, the better and faster I can help you.
Amazing.
That's great. And before I go, I just want to make sure my notes are up to date here. The Hawkins scale of
consciousness.
I thought you answered those questions great because you had real great advice. And now we're all looking up these great supplements. And some of us are contacting you for help. So thank you so much, Brett. We cannot wait to get you back on the big show.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, brother. Cheers.
Damn straight. We just got we got to the end of another great show. And everyone listening right now, you're the family and friends. Thanks for staying till the end.
That was so fun. And hey, hit the like, hit subscribe. We're here to serve you guys. That's why we're doing this show. Josh is not paying me. I'm doing this off of my quote unquote sweat equity because we want to make a difference in your life. And then that ripple effect will continue to touch the world.
Hey, amen, brother. Please check us out on capitalhacking.com, all the social media threads. And yes, I know you've probably already sent this episode to one of your best friends. Thank you. We love you. Just go right into your iPhone, hit the plus symbol. We'll talk to you later. See you next week.
Share.